Your son is 20. And my son is 24 years old. And my son is 24 years old also. Well, so fortunately, I thank God every single day for my son. He is an incredible young man who is currently at St. John's University getting his MBA in marketing for free because, yeah, that's a round of applause for free because he is the graduate assistant tennis coach for the women's tennis team. So you see how I'm dressed. I came in my sports clothes, and I did that on purpose. It wasn't because I didn't have a suit or something to put on, because I pulled everything out and pressed it all last night and everything. I was going to put on my heels and all that and get ready to come for the panelists today. And I said, wait a minute, I'm talking about raising a young man. I'm talking about how I did it. So I decided that I would show you how I did it. I came in my sports clothes. It's Saturday morning, right? If I was with my son, this is what I would have on. And we would be out here on the tennis court, and that's why he's getting his graduate degree free right now, because he is the graduate assistant tennis coach. As a single woman, what I had to do was learn what was important to young men. I had to get in the presence of men and allow them to mentor me and teach me what was important for a young man growing up. What environments did he need to be in, and what was he going to gain from that? So I had to learn how important sports was, because all of the life skills that I learned, because I grew up as an athlete. I'm a daddy's girl. We were talking about that earlier. And my father taught me tennis. I taught it to my son. So it enhanced our relationship, but it also enhanced his ability to interact with other people, to network with other people, to break out of the Black community and be able to interact with folks of Russian descent. The greatest tennis players come from Russia. They come from all over. So he's been to London. He went to Wimbledon and played tennis over there. He traveled to Spain. He did all kinds of things that normally, if in our own little box, he wouldn't have been exposed to. So all of the male mentors and role models and coaches and everybody that was present in our lives, they poured into his life. They also poured into my life. But because I was out there on the tennis court, feeding him balls, running the drills, doing everything that he did, I did, it motivated him and kept him going. And I did tell him to run to the top, climb to the top of the tree. We got health insurance. If you fall down, we go to the hospital. And that's one way that I will be able to teach you to learn how to take care of yourself, so you won't be one of those men who won't go and get your prostate checked. You know you got to go into the hospital and get checked if you need to, whatever you need to do. I'm doing it. If I'm doing it, if your mama is out there doing it, you know you better get out there and do it. And race me around the track, because I'm going as fast as I can, so you better run 3 times faster than me. Because what? Because you're a man. So get it together. Don't trip. And that's what we did. And that's why, and he is a great young man today. He's responsible, he's accountable, and I put him in programs to make sure that happens. And those things that I wouldn't be able to tell him, there were men in his life able to tell that. So for the women, I encourage you, please, Saturday morning, don't take your young men to the hair salon. Don't take them to the nail salon. You know, when my hair was messed up and it was Saturday morning and we had to be at a game, I got a wig. I got one on right now. I was telling you all that. I said I was going to be real with you. This is how I did it. And that's why he is who he is today. And his wife will be very happy. She will have to clean his room. No, Lord have mercy. I don't know what to say about that. But, hey, but he can cook and he can hold down a job. And he will have his master's degree, so he'll be able to take care of his children. And he understands that marriage is the way to go. We don't want you co-parenting. So even though I didn't get along with your father, you have to. And understand what it is to be a man of responsibility. So that is what gave birth to these awards, because all of the men that mentored me and mentored him, I have an opportunity now to stand up and honor them. And so God bless them and thank you. She's just saying. I'm just saying. She's just saying. Powerful, powerful, powerful.
Yeah. It's a lot in that one topic. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. You know, where we stand, our position as mothers, our position as just leaders in the household, just allow and opening up ourselves to allow activities to come in, to mentors and mentees, start getting them active into sports and stuff. I just got my son, he's active into football right now. It changed him. It changed him completely. He's good academically, but what was happening, he was becoming, you know, complacent with computers and, you know, just a lot, non-activity. So he was doing what I was doing, and so now he plays football, I run the track. He finishes football, you know, we go do some type of activity. It brought our family closer together. I have him a mentor now, so now, even though he has his stepdad in the house, but now he sees other men in different suits. You know, he has his football coach. He has his the man in the full suit. So he's seeing different uniforms. And just yesterday, he said, "Mommy, I'm online. I'm trying to see what's the highest paying job out there. Is it what is it, a CEO? What's the highest paying job?" So he's Googling his uniform right now, and it's just from being interactive and seeing.
Just real quick, part of this is the information that we provide for you that you need to take out to the street. So now that when you receive information, now you become a teacher, you have to tell other people. What we have to do is start teaching the word that you don't really know me that well, and I don't really know you as a woman. We have to learn each other. So you don't realize what my role is, and my role is deep. Fatherhood is equivalent to motherhood, specifically in the eyes of a child. So what I bring to the table may be something that you may not disagree with, but it's just going to have to be what it's going to have to be. When I teach my boys, it's something different than what you may teach them. And you're going to have to understand that I have a long-term goal and that I have a deep experience that you don't have. So I can't really get into a long conversation about your grants because I don't really understand. But me and him can talk. So if you are claiming to be a single mother and the father is fighting for more custody time, you can no longer claim that. This single mother thing, you have to really strongly get into co-parenting until, of course, maybe maybe join. But if he is asking for more time and to be around more time, then you need to give that to him. And sometimes what we do is we believe we know what a man's supposed to be, and we believe that he's not a man because he does X, Y, and Z. But you learn from people. You learn from people. You put him around his father, and he may be the greatest influence in the world because he already is. Or he may be an influence to do something else. There are so many people that have risen out of the ashes of molestation and abuse and things like that that have found other means. My father was an alcoholic. He loved alcohol. And it taught me one strong lesson: not to drink.
That's right.
So, but in reality, if I'd have not seen that or been around that, I may not be here right now calling Fiona from a bar talking about I was a little late. So you don't know until you know. You put them around and you ask, but if they want more time, you must tell people to get more time. If people's all around you saying he ain't never seen these kids, you must react. You must react for the entire population of these boys. You must say something positive and say, let them in. Just let them in. You know?
I just have nothing to say about that. And I don't need the mic. I do work in a school. So the one thing I come across most often with single mothers whose the father of the children are not involved is the mother doesn't allow him in. And I don't care what happened between you and him, unless there was violence, unless you were in the witness protection program and he's not supposed to know where you are, unless he is dangerous to those children, he is their father. If he is willing to be there, your job is to protect your children, but that's not the danger. He is not the source of danger. And please encourage women to encourage their children to have relationships. My son and his father have a beautiful relationship. I am aware that he had no relationship with his father growing up. As a man, he grew up without any relationship with his father. When he turned 21 years old, he looked the man up. He drove up to the Bronx and knocked on his door and said, "I'm your son, and you never came and got me on a Saturday. And you never helped my mom with the bills, but I'm still here, and I'm willing to know who you are." And then he, following that, drove to Brooklyn to go and see his son and say, I'm sorry that I didn't get you as much as I wanted to. But he made a choice to look up his father, and it's made him a better father now. He now has a new child, a new relationship and a new child. He is committed to being the father he didn't get to have. And that can be a strong motivator, as you said, but the women have got to provide the space. I know that his mother never stopped him from seeing his father. I never stopped my son from seeing his father. And there were times when I rode on public transportation 2 hours to take him to his father. It wasn't easy. Time is money when you are a single mother. That's hours I could have been working, but that was important. It was a priority. So yes, we are gatekeepers, but these are people who have a past. Let the dads in.
All right. And if he does not want to see his son, do not blast him in front of the young men. Regardless of whatever the father's situation is, if he doesn't want to see his son, if he doesn't come around, if he disappoints him and all that other kind of stuff, don't lie, but just don't blast him. Because one thing is for sure, that young man, whether he gets to spend time with him or with his father or not, has a love in his heart for him. And there's a fine line between love and hate. Yeah. And the other thing that I found out, and my son taught me this once he became an adult, his major concern was, his major concern was, that's my DNA. Am I gonna be just like him? Will I treat my kids just like he treated me? So if the more we feed into that and tell these young men that their fathers are awful and horrible and you're just like your dad, and you don't know what kind of poison you're stirring up in that young man by saying those things about his father, because he believes that you are saying that about him. Hence, that hate that young men sometimes have for women. Now, he may not show you as single mother that hatred, but when he goes outside and begins to date and marry and so forth, that hatred may come up then. So what we do and what we say and what we pour into these young men, and we can go out and do great Men of Excellence awards and support men and all this other kind of crap, and then if we go home and we destroy our own sons, we are responsible for the single parents of tomorrow. We are responsible. So what we have to do is heal. Physician, heal thyself. And as we heal ourselves of all of this and begin to understand that we are okay, there's no guilt, no condemnation, no shame in what we're doing. We're rocking it. We're doing what we have to do with our kids and teaching them how to interact with each other and how to love themselves, especially our boys. How to love themselves. And when they're able to do that and they know they're all right. And we have, and I just respectfully, I can't continue to walk around and tell my son that, you know what, I couldn't raise you to be a man. Because then what am I telling him he is? I know that we have to have men in the lives of our sons. I know we have to have fathers in their lives, but every time a young man of a single mother hears that his mother cannot raise him to be a man, then everybody turns around and goes, well, what am I, a punk? And I'm just being real with y'all because I don't know, the Spirit of God has me in real mode today. And that is what happens to these young men. They hear it over and over and over again and they start to feel less than. Oh wow, and my dad wasn't as involved, so my mother couldn't raise me to be a man, so I'll never be a man. That's the message. So I understand it and I know what we're saying, but we have to find a different way to say it because it's not just us, it's them. They hear it and then they believe that they cannot become men. And I just had to share that with you because it's something that my son said to me. And a lot of his friends who are children of single moms said to them. So I just implore us to maybe encourage each other to talk about this because I understand the message and I agree. but there's just a different way that we can say it so that the young men themselves do not feel less than.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
I mean, as being men, I disagree. That's all I can say more, but I disagree. I mean, you can call it anything you want. You can make up all the names you want. I disagree. We make men into men.